Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and today I am working on a 2-page spread. I have a 3x8 over here and a full 6x8 on this side, and these are photos from the Cloisters in New York. As you can see, these will take up this side. I don't have to find a pocket there, but over here, or a pocket card, over here I have to find a full background. Don't know what that's going to be. These colors are very neutral, so I can kind of use whatever I want. There is a little bit of sort of a reddish brown tint here, so maybe something in that vein, but I'm not sure yet. The only thing I do know for sure that I want to use is this. I have this phrase strip. I can't remember where I got these, but it was stuff that was all related to museums, which is perfect for me. So I love this one that says Treasures of Our Past. I think the brown matches, but again, then I need to match a background to this and this. I've picked out some options for my background here, and these are all solid cardstock. I want to start with those and see what I think. So I have 3 different shades of brown here. This is obviously the one that has the most reddish or orange tone to it. Then there are these. They still have it, just not as much. But I put the picture up like that to see what I would like. I like all of them, so that's kind of a problem. I mean, it's good to have choices, but it's kind of a problem. But I like that they all match with this inner brick here. So I think I could choose any of those and they would be an acceptable choice. But then I also found a patterned piece of paper 6x8 that I like. It's quite different. Look at the pattern in there. It's sort of off from the theme here, but look at that. I do like the way that looks, especially if I were to do like a white border here. It definitely brings some color where, you know, everything is very tone on tone. This would certainly jazz that up a bit. So there's that option. I do think that if I use any one of these, I have to do a white mat, a white border, something else, because it's just too tone on tone. It's very much one particular color palette, and it might look okay now, but I think long term I wouldn't be happy with that. So I have to figure out that part next. So when I was looking at these, I was considering that, you know, I had mentioned, oh, I'll have to do a white border or a white mat or something to that effect. And I remembered I have some vellum that I got not too long ago. It's from Stampin' Up! And it's very hard to see here, but when I lay it down, hopefully you can tell. It has just random script writing on it in different directions. And it's white print over clear vellum. And I like the fact that it's so subtle and it kind of gives an old world feel to it. So I'm wondering if there's some way I can layer this over one of these choices. I don't think I want to do like a full 6x8 of it because you lose too much of the color in the back, but maybe I could just do a little border. I'm not sure, but I like the idea of it. The fact that it softens the color, but still makes it look very refined, which I think goes with the photos that I have here because they're very old world looking. Sorry, that's my cat in the background if you can hear her. The other option is I could switch out to this, use this on top, but then I feel like I lose the entire pattern because putting the writing over this, you get a hint of the color and that's it. And it makes the design look kind of muddy is the best way I can describe it. So I don't think I like that. So it's probably not going to be this one, even though I very much like the paper, probably not the best choice here. So I think it's going to be one of these with an overlay of vellum somehow, and then the photo. I decided to cut down the darkest option that I had just to see how it would look. And I do like that. I especially like how it contrasts with this. These aren't quite the same. This is more of a brown. This has a little bit more of a reddish tone to it, I think. But I like how they look together. And then I can certainly find something brown, another phrase, or, you know, something like that that would go over here. I know I have some stickers that might work, so I feel confident about that. But I have some of this left over. I could cut a strip of this, stamp on it, do something over here if I really wanted it to match. So I actually have 2 from where I cut it. So I do have those. But now I have to figure out how to cut this vellum. It's stumping me a little bit. And so I'm wondering should I trim this? Right now it's a full 4x6, but I could cut off a little bit here, even maybe a little bit here, and it would still give me the base of the photo, which is this part. And then I'd see more of this on all 4 sides. Or do I just show a little bit on top and bottom like this and call it good? I'm not sure. So I don't know. I might try both and see what I think. decided to cut down my vellum, and what I did was I cut it in two 6x12 pieces first, hopefully to eliminate waste. I don't want to waste any of this because it's so lovely. So I still have a full 6x12 piece here. And then I took the other one and I cut it in two sections. So I have 5x6, and then I have the bottom portion here. Now, I do kind of like the idea of having a 7-inch piece here because it gives me more of a background but still not covering the whole thing. But I just want to show the difference here. So here's the 5-inch. There we go. So you are seeing some around the edges, but it's not a lot. I'm not sure if that's enough to offset how dark and bold this is, but watch when I put the 7-inch piece up there. It does take up more of the page, not all of it, but more. And look at when I place it like that. I like that a lot better. I could even go like 6.5 and I think it would still give me enough, but I feel like this is just too small. It doesn't show enough around the borders. And then if I put this either overlapping here or down here or something, I really like the look of that. So I think I'm actually going to go with more coverage here rather than less. I decided to keep this with the 7-inch piece as is. I didn't cut any more off of it like I thought I might. And I've attached the photo on the other side. And then because this is vellum, I don't want the adhesive to show through anywhere. So I'm only putting it behind the photo so that when I put it down here, you won't see it. So I think I'm gonna go about like that, fairly centered there. Okay. Now, I could leave this as is. Once it's in the page protector, it won't matter that this isn't adhered. But I could also add embellishments or something. I could put this in with a staple. That will help hold it down. But since I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here yet other than this, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to leave it. I do think, though, that in order to get this to match and look like it's a cohesive layout, I am going to take a little bit of my extra piece here and do something with it. I will make some kind of a little border or some kind of embellishment cluster or something in the corner, but I think I'll probably do it up here because I have more dead space there than here. This would take out too much of those lovely architectural details, and I don't want to lose those. So I can use part of this. I may also cut a little strip of this and overlay it somehow. Not sure, but somehow I'll get it to match. I cut down a strip from the top going this way so it would be shorter, so I have that there. And then I did cut off a strip of this as well. And I think I'm actually going to cover up the bottom because I didn't realize till I looked more closely that I have people in the picture, and these aren't the people that I was with that day, so I don't care that they're in there. So if I layer it up like this somehow, maybe stamping something on here like this, then I kind of get rid of those people. You don't really see them behind that, but you still get the beautiful ceiling. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I do have white ink, so I could try to stamp that and see how well it shows up on there. I do have extra if I screw it up or it doesn't look good, so that's not a concern. But it's definitely going to need something. So I'll have to look through my phrases and my stickers and my stamping options and see what I come up with. In this particular sticker book, you might not be able to tell from the cover so much, but it's a mix of bright modern stuff and then old vintagey stuff. And I have a couple of pages of stickers like this that are much more themed to what I've got going here. Especially these I like. The script is a little too modern, but I like the color. But even like this is a script font here, which kind of matches the vellum, so maybe I could pull that and work that in somehow. So there are elements here that I could probably incorporate. So I'm going to spend some time looking through these, finding if anything is appropriate, and then I'll be back. In that sticker book that I showed, I did find this in one of the vintage pages, and I decided to layer that first just to give it a little flourish. It made me think of this, the way this comes up and then sprouts out, mimicking this, and so put that on there. But then because I had that on the right side, I felt like this is going to have to go on the left, not over here. So I probably will do it like this, somewhere maybe like so. I'll clip off a little bit here, put a staple in there, and then from this sheet of stickers, I pulled this one that says Escape the Ordinary. It does have black, which might be a little stark against this, but I might be able to work another one in over there to counteract that. But I love the fact it's got white font and then it's got the foil copper little dots on here. And so I think if I put that right below like that, or even maybe off center like that, I think that'll work. I have adhered the phrase here and then the sticker, and I love them both, so I am going to keep that. I'm going to put in a mini staple right here on the left, just for visual interest, and it'll help keep that vellum down a little bit. I really like that, and that might be all I do with this page. The only thing I might add is I do have some white gloss spray for little dots. I may add that in, we'll see, but for now I'm going to leave this alone. So over here then I have to figure out how I'm going to layer this top photo. I still have this, and now I'm wondering, is there a phrase on here that I can layer on top of the brown paper to make it match the other side? I didn't find a phrase in here that I liked, but I did find a sticker. I just decided to go with the one that had the little copper foil stars because this was gorgeous. I think it deserves some stars. So I will layer it over like this. I'll put a staple in there, but then this is too long now. So I think what I might end up doing is cut that straight, or I may tear it to make it a little bit of a jagged edge just for visual interest. But I may still run I'm looking at the wrong photo here. I may still run the vellum all the way across the page just to cover up those people, but I could also rip the brown and the vellum. I probably will start with the brown and see how I feel about it. If I like the way it looks, I might do the other or leave it, but I'll start messing with it and I'll come back when I've decided. I've added on the layers here, and I did not glue down this end. I used the same trick as before, and I only put adhesive behind here so that you wouldn't see it, but it'll stick. But this way, if I decide I want to rip this part, I still can because it's not totally adhered. But I think before I make that decision, I have to see it next to the other page. So let's put them side by side, and that hopefully will help me make my decision. I don't mind it like that, and I like that there's contrast between the part that's ripped and that this goes across. I think I'm going to leave it, but I am going to put in the staple over here. There we go. So I have that. I feel like maybe I do want a little bit of white splattering over here. Not on this page, but on this one, just to fill in kind of these blank areas. So I will do that next. All right, I have this in the box ready for the spray. This is the one I'm using. It's the Dina Wakley Media Gloss Spray in white. I love this one because it shows up even on dark stuff, which is awesome. And I've covered up the photo here just with a spare piece of cardstock to make sure I don't get any on there. If it gets on any of the rest of this, I really don't care, so that's fine. My splattering is done. I actually did decide just to do a little bit on here. So I have that, but then most of it is on this layout. And I'll do a close-up here so you can see how that looks on the dark cardstock. I absolutely love it. It even shows up on the vellum, which is awesome. I've never tried it on vellum, so I'm loving the way that looks. I'm sure I will do that technique again. There you go. But it isn't totally dry yet, so I'm just going to let it sit here. But you can see how this layout will come together. So here's another one finished for New York. Thanks for watching.